gentlemen, here in Uncasville, Connecticut, Premier Boxing Champions presents the second of our featured attraction. Brought to you by Lions Only Promotions, TGB Promotions, and Showtime.
I'm really feeling this pay-per-view.
Sponsored by Proper Number 12 Irish Whiskey,
Hype.
the finest, the tastiest, the smoothest liquid gold in the world. This bout coming up into the stage, once again, is our second main event of the evening. It is presented in association with Samson Boxing. Let's bring our fighters to the stage at this time. It is for the unified 154-pound championship of the world. We present first, fighting out of Miami,
WBC, WBA Super, IBF in the ring.
His record 20 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the defending WBA and IBF
We're going to talk about this one in detail
154-pound champion of the world
after the weigh-in.
Jeison Banana Rosario.
So, which Charlo has a better chance? I'm not saying they'll lose, but
And
if
his
one Charlo would
opponent,
lose, which one would it
also
be?
the world champion, of course, the sensational fighting twin from Houston, Texas. With a record of 33 wins, 1 loss, he has 17 wins coming by way of knockout and having avenged his only loss. Here is the two-time and current WBC Super Welterweight champion of the world, Jermell Iron Man Charlo.
In other words, I guess, who has a tougher time? You know, Jermell with Jeison Banana Rosario,
Well, our fighters are
or
ready. Let's bring them to the
Jermall
scale at this time
with
the
Sergiy Derevyanchenko.
154-pound weight limit. First here is making the first defense of his newly earned crown, the newly crowned WBA and IBF 154-pound champion of the world, Jeison Banana Rosario.
154 is pretty top heavy.
153.5 pounds, 153.5 pounds for Jeison Rosario.
Whoever wins this has 3 mandatories. That's
and
crazy.
Now his opponent. Here is the two-time,
Possibly
current,
4.
reigning and defending WBC Super Welterweight champion of the world, Jermell Iron Man Charlo.
Especially if Brian Castano were to beat Patrick Teixeira.
153 3/4 pounds.
One of these guys
For the
can be undisputed.
WBC champion, 153 3/4 pounds. We have a fight. It is our second main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the unified 154-pound championship of the world.
I mean, I'm hyped, you know, but then again, I'm a hardcore boxing fan. My concern has been where has been the casual boxing appeal. You know, and I can understand people's right to be bitching about buying a pay-per-view because, you know, a lot of people don't have money. A lot of people don't have cable. You know, I understand that we are in tough times. So for those of us who are doing well, you know, we have to understand there's a lot of people who aren't. A whole lot of people. Especially those that you know who are in the service industry and things like that. Especially when you think, you know, how prideful people are. They don't want you to know that they're hurting.
It's the main event of the evening. The best fighting the best. This is a unified world championship at 154 pounds. Jermell Iron Man Charlo, Jeison Banana Rosario.
So, yeah, we're going to be here tomorrow in detail for all of these fights. I have a very, 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 very busy boxing day. So, in my personal opinion, listen, if Jeison Rosario should be taken very seriously. Here, let's just go check him out real quick. You know what I like, though? Now, let me tell you something. My personal opinion, of course, and I caused a little bit of controversy when I was at the fight, and I brought this up with the Charlo brothers. I had Jermell Charlo beating Tony Harrison in the first fight. I had him winning that fight. 33-1 with 17 KOs. You know, Jeison Rosario, he's fighting, as we've talked about, is going to be for the WBC, WBA Super World, the IBF, and the Ring Magazine title. He beat Tony Harrison in that highly anticipated, highly tension-fueled, and great build-up to that fight, you know, PBC on Fox. Jorge Cotto was a stay busy fight, you know, because Tony Harrison had that injury. Before that, Austin Trout, and I was here when he sparked Erickson Lubin before all the media and everybody could sit down. And then, of course, Charles Hatley, and I am not Team Charles Hatley. And even John Jackson was he was losing his fight up until that KO, though, wasn't he? He was. Now, can this happen here with Jeison Rosario? 21-1 with 14 KOs. Many of his fights are available for you to watch. He's been on PBC. You know, you can watch the Jorge Cota, the Hernandez. You can watch these fights. The Jamonte Clark. Then isn't the one who got knocked out the ring? The guy's got some power, and also he's got those belts, and he's got that champion attitude now. So you're likely going to see the best. You're likely going to see the best of Jeison Rosario tomorrow night. I mean, the whooping, I was there in Philly, ringside, when he put that whooping on Julian J. Rock Williams. I was there at Temple University, you know, where they had their first press conference, and it was no media, like, around Jeison Rosario because nobody knew who the hell he was, you know. But now, you know, he's the motherfucking man. So who's going to win? We're going to have to see. Looking at the 154-pound division, here is my theory, though. I think this. Erickson Lubin had defeated Terrell Goucher to become the mandatory for the winner of this fight in regards to the WBC side. But I don't see him getting that shot. Not right away. I think his next fight will be some step-aside money on the undercard of whoever Jermell Charlo and Jeison Rosario fight. The same thing with Bakhram Murtazaliev, who's also supposed to be on this card, correct? But we didn't see his weigh in. He is supposed to be a backup for both of these guys if, you know, COVID, but now everything's going forward. I think that Erislandy Lara is going to drop his title and fight the winner of Jermell Charlo, Jeison Rosario. And I think they're going to try to pay-per-view that if Patrick Teixeira and Brian Castano winner can fight. Patrick Teixeira is a Golden Boy fighter. Brian Castano is a PBC fighter who is stuck in his country, and basically the WBO has given them until November to get this fight done. Tim Tszyu is now about 1 or 2 years away from being named mandatory. Liam Smith is out there. I don't know who Jared Hurd is, but that's a cool name, but this would be Jared Hurd. They made a mistake right there. Israel Madrimov. Now, I was on a Zoom call with him and other fighters for, you know, a press conference for his last fight in which he won to become, the WBA interim? Because my understanding is they believe that they're going to be the winner, the mandatory, or are the mandatory for Jermell Charlo versus Jeison Rosario. I'm not saying because they're boxers and managers, they don't know what they're talking about. But when I asked them and other media asked them for clarification, it seems as though they don't have a clear answer on who their mandatory is, whether it's Lara or whether it's Jeison Rosario. So for what I got from it is the WBA told them, yes, you will be a mandatory for the belt, but didn't tell them what belt. And if you know about the WBA or what it's supposed to be, is that the super champion doesn't have a mandatory unless the WBA, you know, sanctions it. So my bet is he's going to be Lara's mandatory, but I think that Lara's going to drop that belt and fight the Jermell Charlo Rosario winner. That's very Al Heyman PBC-ish, is it not? Come on. And Lara command a lot of money, so that's why he fights the talent that he fights, is because you can't put him against top talent because, like, they got to make money too. Lara's been around forever anyway. You know? Let's see if they get any interviews here with any of the fighters while we're here. Looks like we're not. You know, they don't want to take no chances, I see, I guess. Well, anyway, we're going to be here tomorrow night covering all of these fights. I'm hyped. $74.99. I put the information about a pay-per-view right down below in the description box. And as I said, I'm not going to be, you know, like coming at people like, oh, why do you buy the fight and all that. And also, you know, I'm not going to be bitching about the pay-per-view numbers because I get it economically why the Charlos have to be on pay-per-view. And I also understand, you know, that a lot of people have a right to be like, no, I'm not buying that shit. You know, that's your right. Now, my prediction, I'm predicting that this pay-per-view is going to do anywhere between 80 to 200,000 pay-per-view buys. I know that's a little bit of a, you know, broad, you know, but that's my prediction. And depending on who, if it does 100 or 150 at 75, you know, bucks, that may be a win for them. We don't know. We don't know. I don't like talking about people money and all that type of shit. That ain't, you know, but it is what it is. We're going to be here, lines only. This is T Street Controversy with FightView360.com. See you tomorrow night. And follow me on Twitter at TStreet4Life. I'm going to put the link also down in the description box.